Goals to me are incredibly important to success. And I have had for years, when I was 25, I wrote down a running list on my notes app on my iPhone of all the things that I wanted to accomplish, both personally and professionally. And if you haven't done that, I highly encourage you actually do. Because one, it gives you the direction of where you're going to go. But two, you actually get to check the things off. In my experience being around incredibly successful real estate agents is they are striving towards hitting a goal. And they have a bar that they've set for themselves. This is real estate agents I've met throughout the entire country that do hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars in commissions every single year. And even beyond that, building businesses and doing all kinds of different things. One thing that these people have in common is that they have set the bar incredibly high for themselves. And on number two, there's two different things. One is the bar, and two is they have set some sort of goal or vision for themselves. And if you know anything about me, I am huge on goals. So I got two things that I want to share with you today. The beginning is a presentation. I shared this with my team just this last week. And this is a case study on what raising the bar for our team has meant in a really short amount of time. When I'm filming this, we just wrapped up the first quarter of 2026, and we are way up over what we did this time last year, like way up. And we had a monster growth year last year. We were up 65%. We're up way above that. So here's the presentation I went through. And this starts with the goals section. When I was 25, I went through the notes app on my phone and I wrote down everything that I wanted to accomplish, both personally and professionally. And I've gone back to this and added and subtracted things as my life has changed. But if you haven't gone through that exercise, I would encourage you to do it. So here's the presentation. Let me pull up the slides. So we won an award from last year. So from 2025, from the brokerage that we're a part of. We're part of First Team Real Estate, huge independent brokerage. And we won 3 individual awards, rather as a team. And one was for the number one team at the entire brokerage. One was by units and by volume. The third one, the middle one here, is the Founders Award, which is, I think only 4 people have won that in the last 5 or 6 years. And we are one of them. But the goals that I set, this is a screenshot from my notes app on my phone of goals that I set when I started in this business in 2019. So 6 years ago. Highest producing team at First Team. I actually said highest producing team in the office. And then highest producing agent in the office. Those got checked off years ago. But this last year, we got to check off highest producing team at the brokerage First Team, which is a huge win. Moving on to the next goal being number 1 in Orange County. And then California after that. I have no problem putting these big, huge goals up because we are going in that direction, and that is what we're doing. So I made this slide for my company, but State of Onyx is something we do every quarter, but this is a recap and a sneak peek. So 2025 for us, Onyx Homes, was a year about adding more opportunities and support. We added a ton of stuff for our company. We built an inside sales team. We added tens of thousands of dollars in marketing spend. We added more support to our ops team. We added a second transaction coordinator in-house for our team as well too. We beefed up our marketing department and we rolled out basically 10x the amount of media we were doing before to generate leads inbound to the company. So that was the theme of 2025, was adding more and more of what was already working. The theme for 2026, as we've laid it, is doubling down on our winning culture and then continuing to do more of what's already working. So here is proof that this actually works. I have case studies from some of our top agents from 2025. Amina had her best year in her entire career, where she had averaged 24,000 points in Follow Up Boss worth of work for 15 units and 243,000 in GCI. This is the best year she's ever had and a big increase over the previous year. Now, what does the points mean? Well, the points is we use Follow Up Boss as our CRM, and it simply totals up your activity. So our agents use Follow Up Boss for absolutely everything. So you can see that it tracks how many emails were sent, how many texts, how many conversations, and how much talk time, and then how many appointments were set. So for her, she averaged 24,300 points per month. The points might not mean anything to you. And just to be clear, how points are calculated, 1 point for emails, I think it's 2 points for text messages, 10 for an outbound phone call, 100 for conversations. So the important stuff's weighed way heavier, and 500 for appointments. So you can just keep an eye on this number here. Obviously, this stuff's obviously important, but look at the average points per month taking last year's number into account, and then we'll go into this year. And if you are not an agent in Southern California and can't join our team, I have another free resource for you to check out as well. It is the Start to Finish in Real Estate community. There are 2,200 real estate agents throughout the entire country that are in this community. On top of that, you get our entire sales masterclass. So this is exactly the same training that we put our agents through, and how we put up these types of numbers and how we convert leads higher than anybody else in our entire market. So if you want to join that, the link is also going to be in the description down there. It is school.com/start, and I'll see you inside. All right, now let's get back to the video. Connor was another agent. 2025, he had a huge, I think it was his best year as well too. 7 units for $272,000 in total GCI, and he averaged 25,000 points per month. Martin was his first full year in the business as a full-time agent. He had a monster year for his first year, did 12 units at $287,000 in GCI. He averaged 29,000 points per month. And Danielle had a monster year, 567,000 GCI for 16 closed units. Also averaged right under 30 at 28,000 points per month. So those are all great years. There's no two ways about that. Those are good years, especially for first and second year agents in the business. Now, we talked about raising the bar at our first quarter or annual meeting. And the case study showed that this is last year's case study, that agents that did 50% more work literally had a 3x in the amount of income that they made. So here's what this chart shows. These bars are for agents that consistently hit under 20,000 points per month. So you just saw that these agents are all hitting well above that. But agents that hit under that sold on average $1.162 million. And these are probably agents that are exiting the team, I could imagine. The minimum standard for our team is that you hit 20,000 points every single month. Now, this section here are for the agents that just barely hit that minimum standard. So they were between 20 and 25,000 points on average per month. And those agents averaged a volume of $3.5 million. I'll just round it off. But the agents that worked just a little bit more and were between 25 and 30,000 points averaged 6.7 average. So half were above that. Mind you, half were also below that, but averaged 6.7 million in total sales volume. But the agents that did over 30,000 points in every month averaged $10 million in production, which is basically a 3x in income by working just 50% more. Going from 20,000 points to 30,000 points is 50% more work, but a 3x in income, meaning you get so much more out of putting just a little bit more effort in. And don't get me wrong, it does take a lot of work to get there, but I want to show you the proof of this. We also rolled out a huge bonus for our Onyx Honors agents that hit 500,000 in GCI. So you're going to see a little tally marker down here at the bottom. That'll give you an idea of what that is. So this is so far year to date. And this was honestly, I ran this like 2.5 months ago. There we go. This is 2.5 months into the year. Trevor is averaging 52,000 points per month. So significantly more than the agents were at the top of the leaderboard last year. And in the first 2.5 months of the year, he has closed 6 transactions for $147,000 in GCI. He is 30% of the way to $500,000 in GCI. Therefore, he's 30% away closer, 30% of the way to his Rolex. So as you can see, this is the amount of work that he has put in so far this year. That's Trevor, brand new agent. This is his first full year in the business right now. Number 2 is Stephanie. She is on pace to have her best year of all time. She is averaging 56,000 points per month. Stephanie is the agent that saw she saw this slide, 50% more work was 3x the income. And she said, I want to prove that right, and I want to do that. So she's come in, 6 deals closed and pending, just January and February, for $177,000 in GCI, averaging 56,000 points per month. She is 35% of the way to her Rolex. Reab, who is an agent that just joined us 90 days into last year, he did $180,000 in Q4, and he's already got $140,000 closed and pending in Q1. And this is, again, I took these stats 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he is averaging 42,000 points per month. So as you can see, more work, and these are significantly higher numbers than we would have seen, obviously times these by 4, than the numbers that we saw last year. And this is 28% of the way to a Rolex. Here's another one. Oh, I messed up the name here. This is Roshni. Look at this name here, not Trevor again. Roshni is averaging 33,000 points per month. She has closed 9 deals and pending for $323,000. That is not a typo. so far in the first quarter of the year. She's 65% of the way to her Rolex. This just shows proof that 50% more work, 3x the income, is 100% true. This is a chart from 2025, mind you, which again, we as a company grew 65%. A lot of our agents had the best year they've ever had, but a lot of those agents are also in their first and second year. This gap, in my opinion, because we have raised that bar, is going to continue to increase. And with that, our total sales pipeline, which we defined as customers that we have met with and are down funnel from there. So like we are actively went on an appointment with them, or we are farther down the funnel than that. Once they close, they move out of this. We have, at the time that I wrote this, 599 people at our meeting last Friday. We had 630. So we added 30 more people just since this last week and a half, 2 weeks. So this is a massive deal. This is significantly bigger than we had at the peak of last year, which is no wonder why we're significantly above where we were this same time last year. We were basically doubled the business from this time last year to right now. And it's because we have continued to raise the standards with our team. On top of that, we also have a Realtor.com campaign that is launching. We bought a quarter of all of the market for the Chino area. Chino Hills, Rancho Cucamonga, that whole area. We bought a quarter of all the leads Realtor.com has, and we are buying more. We frankly just don't have the agents to handle all those opportunities, but we will because we're growing. And then we also bought 25% of all the Temecula market as well too, and we have committed to buying the entire Orange County market. We'll continue buying as we go. So more opportunities, more support, and raising the bar, and that's what leads to success. So the big thing here is just set a goal, and then what do you need to do every single week in order to get there? There is no hiding from the fact that work works. Do the basics at a high level consistently, and you can see results like this as well too. So as always, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.